Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. How are you? How have you been? It's been a week, and I had to go dark right to the back of the cave. So I'm back now, and I just want to pull some messages through to see what the energy is doing. No astrology. And the first card out, without any ado, is Whalesong. Which is speaking of that deep underwater. Might be hidden emotions, it might be buried intuition, but there's this kind of upwelling, resurrecting kind of energy. It's like a revealing, a presencing, and it speaks to ownership and having the experience of your death, right? It's about having the experience of your death. A quick thank you, by the way, to those of you who have sent me private messages saying, I miss you. Thank you. Yeah, sometimes from time to time, and I did say, the newbies won't have heard me say this, but those of you who have been with the channel for a while will have heard me say, when Venus goes retrograde during Lionsgate, I'll probably be very quiet and big, deep modules of study with Venus retrograde. So yeah, last week was a real going off comms to come back and really integrate and process and earth. We're coming into Virgo season. I think we're in Virgo season now. So it's bringing it to earth and presencing it and experiencing it. It's like the threshold between talking about it and being it. It feels like that, but it also feels gentle, like don't push, there's no rush. Let it be a slow integration and a realization, that lovely, gentle aha. So we begin with the Whalesong and the resonating. It's like dropping depth charges in to create the vibration, that return vibration. Okay. And this does speak about so this is giving me the trapped sound, the sound that's been trapped within you, that you might have been getting gentle reverberations about. So it's releasing that knowingness and making it present in the world. And the reconciliation is with self. Once we are reconciled with self, we will then be able to reconcile with what's going on in the world. I was practicing centeredness the other day, sitting in the garden, silence and centeredness. And I'm not kidding you, one of my neighbors fired up an angle grinder, which just left me giggling and practicing deeper and deeper silent connection with self in the presence of this wailing angle grinder. So again, this is speaking about having the personal experience and bringing that experience home to self. And this will be the birthing of the unique expression of you in the world rather than be conformed self, the conformed, adaptive, needing, codependency. And I'll share a tiny bit of my journey with you. I was out one day last week with my feet in the river, and something was ready to be birthed through my solar plexus. I felt it, so I just kind of pulled it out of me. It was an old something that was ready to come out, and I gently pulled it out of me and brought in the violet flame and cast it into the river. And I was with a friend and I said, everything's going to change now. And everything's changed since that moment. And when I was driving home, I realized that was the day of the new moon in Leo. So solar plexus activating, working with the holistic self to reconcile and bring through a new energy. And the next morning when I woke up, it felt like a curse had been lifted in the collective, not just for me. It feels like a curse has been lifted. And I feel it's something to do with codependency. Because as we step more deeply into our personal authority, the challenge in that is to let go of what triggers our should to respond. Okay. So if I kind of broad brush this message has been in the field for weeks now. And if I kind of broad brush and say from now until the end of the year, we've got pretty much every planet going retrograde or coming out of retrograde, a lot of retrograde energy that will take us through eclipse season. So there's a real sorting, clearing, rethinking, reevaluating, resonating. Okay, so resona. It's that sonar pulse, just dropping that depth charge in to see what's in there. So the wandering between realms will feel strange, odd, confusing, won't be able to map to it. That's normal. Make that the new normal. All right. That's something new that the subconscious can't map to. So that's the litmus test, that it's just something new. Stay curious. And that something new is designed to trigger the fear response, to trigger the I am different in this response. Can I own that difference? So again, it's bringing us into sovereignty and authority. And one of the things that will get triggered is choices and their consequences. So if we talk about the personal choice of going dark or going off comms or switching off, then the consequence might be that people follow you into your cave. The consequence might be that people take it personally, your absence. The consequence might be that you offend somebody by making a different choice, by moving in a different direction that might feel strange. It's coming in on that beautiful 20. It's actually coming in with 2 of Swords energy. I've just noticed, I've never seen that before. So 2 of Swords kind of piercing the light. It's like, wow. So this is coming through as a water molecule. So piercing that depth, the depth of you, to be able to pierce the very depth of you might mean to momentarily disconnect from everything that is outside of you, to find a newer, truer, bluer expression of yourself within, not from without. So we're really being urged more deeply within. There might be a message there also as to how you ground. You might need something deeper than grass to hold you. There's a nice mirror here, look, between the 52 and the 25. So what can we call that? The mirror of the mystic? Are we just being a mystic within and translating that to something different without? Or are we being a mystic within and bringing that mystic through without? So definitely in retrograde season, lots of time for rest, just to slow the whole thing down. It doesn't mean stop producing. It means look at how you produce. Venus, again, is in retrograde saying, are you sure that's all you're worth? And so there might be a reevaluation of relationships and what can hold you emotionally. There might be a big uncomfortable question about what doesn't hold you emotionally and what do you want to do with that? How do we get our emotional needs met? It's a very old question. We've been asking that question, I think, since the start of my very first channel. And the underlying oh my God. Wow. Okay, so we're still in. Well, this is a big underlying message. Ah, thank you. All right, all right, all right. So what I can see in these cards is this journey through Libra into Scorpio. At the end of August, I think on the 31st, we have a full moon happening, the third moon in a month in Pisces. Aha. So. We have the next 3 or 4 months here on the table. So full moon in Pisces is a depth dive, a deep dive, and the underlying upcoming energies that will follow is rebirthing courage. And it's kind of a divine courage. It's on your terms by harnessing your own lightning and fire and elements and beaming that out and detaching from any attachment to outcome. 44. As we start to remove the many masks to reveal our authentic self, that's amazing. And we start beaming out the inner sanctum, sanctorum, the inner chapel. The inner light and the inner shadow. Which in itself will be an adventure. Look at all this deep water. This is a highly creative energy, highly creative. Moving forward into the next shift, 55. Whoa. That's the mirror of creation, meeting the mirror of conflict, chaos, change, dynamism, birthing something really new that's being within you that you might have to go right to the back of the cave to find because you know you buried it a couple of million years ago. So we have ancient energies coming in here. Might mean closing the gates to your own cave for a while. To get ready for rebirth. So what this is telling me is it might be in the next 3 or 4 months that if you can't find that seed of passion, what that's doing is that's holding you in not creating, that's holding you in not producing for a reason. So sit in that tension, because what that will do is that will dissolve your should. That will dissolve codependency. It will dissolve the money wound, because that, you know, we're dissolving the old Capricornian way of top down linear creation, which is bottom line driven. That's going. So when we're creating from our deep waters, that's something more feminine, and the feminine is chaos. She doesn't move in a straight line. We have to follow the tendrils and remap a bigger tapestry, a bigger dream catcher, if you like. So slow down. Slow down is a message. I'm going to put those underlying messages right in the middle so they can sit there gestating. Yeah, here's the 55 challenge. And here's the, wow, there's a ton of underlying energy coming in. So it might be, wow. Give me a minute. All right. So they're showing me a spiraling down and spiraling up, spiraling down and spiraling up. And I want to bring in 56 with that. It's almost like we are rewiring our own DNA now. We are rewiring our own DNA now. There's a slight nervousness coming in with that. So that first underlying story is basically saying, take the plunge, get ready for new beginnings, boldly step forward towards adventure, removing your masks as you go, creating the perfect storm. And in comes the challenge, and the challenge is, or don't. Or don't. The refusal of the call, you're going to feel that it's absolutely your choice. It might take more energy to not die. It might raise sorrow of not having met your own needs, emotional, spiritual. More than the physical will hold you because we're in Virgo season. So this might be an ending of programming as you repair your own veil to access the unseen, to access the metaphysical and quantum fields, to access spirit. And I think with these two, it's going to get a bit noisy. Because as we move into slower energies and we're moved out of that fast productivity addiction, I'm nothing if I'm not making something. I'm nothing if I'm not doing something. That's going to get challenged here. Because when we're moved into a quieter space, everything that we're not looking at will come up again. It will come, it will erupt. Upwell. It's not eruption. It's not that fast. Upwelling. And if we haven't been holding ourselves emotionally and surrounding ourselves with people who can hold us emotionally without wanting to fix or solve or mend or reach in and dump their stuff into our field, this is a rebirthing of relationships, relationship with self on an emotional level and relationship with others on an emotional level. Then we could move into overwhelm at these rising waters look. But look at the old structure coming up. Treasures hidden in new locations. But we've got to be bold and courageous to come to another beginning. Okay. So it looks like there's going to be two beginnings here, and they might, I don't know what the moons are doing. There might be on the next two new moons. I'm not getting distracted by astrology because it's too busy at the moment. It's overwhelming plenty, and it can be distracting. Okay, so that's kind of given us the top line messages for the next few months. And so if I go to, if I go to the mystical healing deck and just ask for a couple of really key messages that we can implement, key energies we can implement or address or look at from now until the end of the year. Oh, this card has never come out before. Okay, so there's a collective rise here. Oh, so much, bear with me, so much, so much. So we have the sun, the moon, the stars, water. So we have fire and water. Right. What this message isn't is about something I lovingly call toxic positivity. Okay. Toxic positivity is where we actually abandon ourselves emotionally. Because I don't want to swim around in my eye, I don't want to bring that, I don't want to be lost in shadow. Well, then don't be. Okay. The challenge with this card I get is to try out new. All right, let's go to inner narrative. What does your inner voice say? What is your inner moaner, inner complainer, inner dictator, inner betrayer, inner self-saboteur? What is all of that saying? Because what this is saying is be in your boat. You don't have to drown in the deep waters of your lost emotions, unprocessed emotions. And this might be speaking to Scorpio season. But it might be time to rewire some of your inner dialogue by kind of going to meet those inner archetypes as your own therapist. How about that? As your own space holder, as your own facilitator. Let's just pull a couple of archetype cards out. For those it's those two. Okay. This is beautiful. Okay. So for the rest of the year, you're going to become a teacher if you want to. And you're going to alchemize your deep waters, okay, by holding yourself emotionally with a stronger voice. So let the inner voice wail. I can't, woe is me. Let that be with love. Meet that with love as a teacher, as a guide, and alchemize that in a different way. That might, you've got to find your own way in this. There's no way I'm telling you what to do. But these energies are so helpful. Teacher energy. Well, teacher is also a student. A healthy teacher is also a student, can work at that nexus point of switching between teacher and student. What am I learning? And what wisdom am I sharing? So it's a new dynamic, healthy adulting. So when we practice positivity with our inner shadow, then we can work from a place of healthy adult compassion. I see you. I see you. I sense your fear. And that's okay. Okay. So that's going to help to dissolve shame, guilt, oppression, suppression, all of those old, heavy Piscean energies as we move towards the Piscean full moon, that it's all okay. And that will trigger a new alchemizing of an old feeling. Lift it up out of the deep water into a healthy expression. Because the big game show here is, in order to stand in your sovereignty and personal authority, it is okay for you on Monday to be gorgeous and on Tuesday to be an arse. It's all okay. They are all aspects of you. If you imagine, some of the work I often do with clients is to build a round table. We build a round table, and as aspects, hidden aspects of self, come because they're ready to be met, we invite them to find their place at the table. And then we look relatively at who's sitting opposite who's sitting next to, who's bigger than, smaller than, who's hidden in the shadows waiting to come in. That might be your 5 of cups. And we work the table like that because all are welcome. All of your aspects. This is going to be a beautiful, if we harness it. Okay, so as the teacher, where's the teacher? So as the teacher alchemizes in new, positive, healthy adult ways, without using positivity as a way to abdicate or to abandon self, abandon our own feelings, then we start meeting our true fear. Hello, fear. Okay. Hello, fear. I see you. This is like, it was never safe for me to show myself. The arrow is pointing straight to the opening in the mask. And she controls the door. It's only her hand on the door. Mm-hmm. 25 again. Make noble your soul. Align the inner with the outer. And how can I put this? Be careful before taking responsibility for the consequences that you may trigger in others. It's beautiful. I'll show you that card upside down. Yeah. Beautiful. Is that it? I think that's it. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I don't know what deck to use. I'm going to go with the cheeky abundance cards. And let's wrap this up with a final message, please. Yeah. Oh, that worked. Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Okay. Okay. So it looks like we're melting delusion. The delusion might be as simple as I can't. The delusion might be as simple as I've tried before and it didn't work. Well, this is new. We're new. We're breaking new ground. For the rest of the year, it will be slowly breaking new ground, planting your own seeds in your own way with your own soil. Virgo. Because delusion. So intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. So the surrender is where we surrender what hasn't worked and be brave enough to move forward in something that might feel a bit, well, I'm that, what? I'm that, I can do that. So it's going to feel uplifting and powerful. How can we be with that? Because that's coming out with love as the highest vibration that's available. And if we give love to others and we don't give love to ourselves, got to look at that. You don't got to do anything, but it would serve you to look at that. Divine source is the idea that no person, place, or thing is your salvation only. Only love itself. And those two are coming out with this. True offering. The exposed soul. Scorpio season is going to be interesting this year. Yeah, absolutely. So these two, so when I started, I'm struggling to speak at the moment. When I started recording, the sun was coming in so bright, it was hitting my laptop. And it was just brilliant sunshine. So I got two dark cards and put them over the shadow just to take the light down a little bit. And it just so happens that these two cards are distorted desire. Now that's going to get exposed in all this deep water of where we've been creating for something outside of us, to keep something appeased or happy, to keep someone liking us, loving us, codependency. And that's coming out with transitions. That's a powerful 37 there. That's such a stunning image. Bringing that wisdom through to know better and to speak a different truth, an uplifted truth, powerful truth. That's it. That's it. Beautiful. So again, thank you very much for your loving messages. I love you guys. It's great to be back, and there will be more. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll see you all again soon. Take care. Bye.